Good morning everybody, just out and about. I thought I'd do another little short driving video. I'm in Orwin, as you'll probably be able to tell by the gold bonnet at the bottom of the screen. For anybody who's brand new to the channel and you haven't got a clue what Orwin is, it's the name of my 1984 Mark II Vauxhall Cavalier. And it's named Orwin simply because the first owner who bought the car brand new back in '84 was named Mr. Orwin. So my mate Andy saved the car from Mr. Orwin. He'd had it sat on his drive, not used for a long time, and my mate Andy saved him. But I'll not go into too much detail on this video. I'll just be quiet and I'll let you enjoy the video. Trust me to be stuck behind a truck now. Just adjust the camera a little bit. Actually, the other thing I will just say, because if you are new to the channel you'll not know anything about Orwin, started off as a 1.6 carburetor fed naturally aspirated GL, and he's now got the 2 litre SRI 130 engine in, which actually came from a newer Mark III Cavalier. It was a Cavalier that belonged to one of my old Cavalier mates called Dougie. Now Dougie's got his own channel. If you want to search for Once Driven Forever Smitten, you'll see Dougie doing his various antics with his old Vauxhalls, and he was visiting other people, going and looking at their cars, and does all sorts of cool stuff. It's mostly Dougie. I think he does some stuff with another guy as well, but I think the YouTube channel's pretty much Dougie. He's also got an Instagram page as well, Once Driven Forever Smitten. I think there's another guy who works with him who sometimes uploads stuff on there as well. But anyway, this engine belonged to Dougie. Dougie? It's Dougie? Let's say his name right, Dougie. And it came out of a 1989 SRI Mark III, but because it's one of the early ones, it's got the SEH in it. Later SRIs didn't have the SEH, and then they went to the 16 valve red top for a very short period. They are very rare. And then they went to the Ecotec 16 valve. But this is the good old 2 litre 8 valve that you would find in the Mark II SRI 130. I have to admit that Andy did all the work on the car. I've just pretty much bought it, done some welding, cleaned it a couple of times, and enjoyed it. But the actual build of the car to where it is was pretty much done by Andy. Now Andy has also got a couple of YouTube channels himself, so if you want to go and check out Andy's channels, he's got one which was for the Cavaliers, and then he's also got one where he's restoring a Zuck, which is an old fire engine, an old Polish fire engine. What I'll do, I'll get the links and I'll put the links in the description. It's annoying about getting stuck behind this truck. It's quite a steep hill this though, so I'm quite impressed how fast the truck's going. But yeah, I just thought I'd come out for a little drive, seeing as how it's a nice sunny day. Chucking it down with rain this morning though, but it's turned out nice again. Oh, it's so frustrating being stuck behind this truck. This road's a tricky one to overtake on as well. Really tricky one. Oh, a little bit of an update as well. I mentioned in my last video about a rattle, and this annoying rattle I could not get rid of. Well, just driving along, I don't know if you could notice it on the video before, but you can't hear the rattle. The rattle has gone, pretty much. It's still there occasionally, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. And basically, the rear brakes are Mark III Cavalier disc brakes. So it's got the little brake pads, and the brake pads were rattling. The brake pads were rattling, and that's what was causing my rattle. So what I did yesterday, I took the brake pads out. They were completely bone dry. There was no copper grease, nothing. So they were just metal on metal, rattling away. So I put a load of copper grease in, and that's made the noise virtually completely vanish. But there's no anti-rattle springs. So I nipped out to a local motor factors yesterday. They didn't have them in. So I'm going to go to my brake specialist today, who will definitely have them. It just basically needs the new fitting kit with the 2 springs and the 2 slider pins that you hammer in, which hold the pads in place. But to be fair, even without the anti-rattle springs, just by putting copper grease in has stopped the rattling anyway. So there you go. But I will fit the proper springs because it should have them in. And then thinking back, I do remember Andy telling me that he didn't have the anti-rattle springs, but it's one of them things that I totally forgot. You know, it is sometimes you totally forget these things, and I had totally forgotten. Now you might just notice a big patch of building work to the side. If I just angle the camera, you see all that building work? Just angle the camera around so you can see it. That building work is where they're building a new motorway services. I'm just coming up to M1 junction, I'm getting myself confused. Junction 36, yeah, 36 for Barnsley, Birdwell. And yeah, massive amounts of building work going on where they're building a brand new motorway service station. So that'll be interesting to see when it's done. Just seeing which way this truck's going. See these roadworks all around here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it there for now, guys, and I'll come right back to you. I'm going to set it recording again once I just get on a more interesting bit of road. So watch out for the next vid, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.